Hi my loves, hi my loves, hi my loves. I hope you guys are good. All right. If I look funny today, my phone died. I had to get another phone and I have to take this out. I'm still trying to figure the camera settings. And to everyone else, to those of you who are new here, please note that my videos are long and I don't get to the point, and I give a lot of keys and codes in my messages, and some things you have to figure them out on your own. Now, please don't come into the comments and bothering me about get to the point, right? So stay at your own risk, knowing very well what is going to happen here. To my followers who have been with me on this journey, you know, we do intros, and if you do intros, we do intros. Skip the intros. You know, it's a normal thing. You already know we do intros, and skip them. Some of you love the intros, but clearly some of you seems to be bothered by the intros. Now, I need to say something. I am making these videos not to benefit me. These videos don't benefit me with anything, because number one, I'm making these videos because of things that I was asked by the angels to share, things that they've shared with me. So I'm not making these videos to get followers, to get attention, or to get whatever. If you skip the video, it is on you. No one is forcing you to watch these videos. So we are all good. If you skip the video, it's all on you, not on me. Whatever that you are missing has nothing to do with me. I'm not benefiting from anyone following me. Right? So if you skip the videos and you feel like, no, you should do better, like, listen guys, if you don't want to watch the videos, don't watch the videos. If you want to watch the videos, watch the videos, but don't ever think you're making me a favor by watching the videos. This channel, for whether it's on YouTube or on TikTok, was started for a selective few, and the selective few know themselves, and they're not even 1% of humanity on earth. It was started for them. It was a call to them. They know themselves and they understand every single thing that I say. And everyone else, you can learn a lot from it and you'll find divine messages and guidance. But apart from that, guys, it's up to you. If you stay, you stay. If you don't stay, you can go. I'm not getting paid for doing this, just fulfilling a mission. I told you there are two things I will only teach you here, is how to become a god, and number two, how to be wealthy, because you can't be a broke god. That's the only thing. So if that's nothing that interests you and you are not on that mission, then leave us alone. And I am going to keep saying these intros. These intros will be there. If you are irritated by the intros, then you can go. Fine. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, to those who are left, to the followers who decide to stay, I think these intros are good, because then we clear out all the clutter of people who will just disturb us on this message, on this platform. Anyone else can go. Okay, there will be a title up here, so stay at your own risk. This is a little bit of a long message, as all my messages are long. I might be a little bit fast to try and crimp everything so that I don't run out of time. Okay, the message today is titled Pineal Gland, the key to higher knowledge. Right, I was told to do this. I'm so behind because I had to go get a phone and set it up and everything. The old phone has given up on me. Pineal Gland, the key to higher knowledge. The videos related that you could go watch, not sure if they're related, but you could go watch these videos in order to understand better. Number one, what is melanin? The war on DNA. That one you need to watch if you haven't watched it. Yeah. The second one is how to hold wealth, pineal gland, nervous system. You need to go watch it. The war on what is melanin? The war on DNA. The cover. It is a man. It's a man in an African stuff, like looks like the Messiah. Very, very, very blue in skin, right? That's the video. The cover of how to hold wealth using the pineal gland nervous system. It is the tarot card 8 of Pentacles with the black man. And the third video is Secret Society, Sacred Societies. How did I use the video? I keep forgetting the cover of that video, but all my videos have titles. Many of them. It's only less than 5 that don't have titles, and those are the older videos. All right, so the lesson is Pineal Gland, the key to higher knowledge. Right. The requirement to initiate into a proper The requirement to initiate into higher knowledge, it is a pineal gland that is functioning properly. Your body is a temple, and the pineal gland, it is the illumination, the eternal light in that temple, right? The pineal gland was originally revered in the ancient days in the holy temples as the seat of the divine gods. It was the seats of, they used to call it the seat of the divine God, or the seat of the divine visions. And over the years, it has been targeted and clarified and silenced. It has been targeted so much because the pineal gland is how we access divine wisdoms that come from the divine source, and it is targeted a lot. And over the years, as I said, it's been targeted, it's been clarified to silence the divine wisdom that comes through it. And how do they use it? How do they target it? I did say in How You Hold Wealth, the pineal gland, they use fear, amongst many other things, to desensitize your pineal gland, which then shuts you to divine knowledge, shuts you out of divine knowledge. And right now we are in a season where many of you need to wake up. You need to go through your true spiritual awakening. Many, as human beings, we go through many awakenings, spiritual awakening. It's not just one spiritual awakening, guys. You have to go through more than one spiritual awakening. And right now, many of you are about to start the season where you are about to go into your true spiritual awakening. And the biggest step it is, and this true spiritual awakening is going to be life-changing, and many things are gonna turn. It's gonna turn your world upside down, in a good way. We'll start in a most uncomfortable way, but with time, it will get into a good way. All right. And we need the pineal gland. We need the pineal gland, to be able to start these processes. Right. So many of you are about to wake up to. All right. Many of you are about to wake up to what we mean when you say that your body is a temple. In the Bible, they tell you that your body is the temple of God. What does that mean? Many of you are about to wake up to that. You will understand that you are a living temple that houses an ancient god and a goddesses. When your pineal gland is open, you do not just see visions and just have prophetic dreams, but you become the truth itself. You wake up to the truth of your reality. You wake up to the truth and the reality of who you are, where you come from, and your life, and the life that you, and the purpose of why you came here on earth. Many of you have been asking this question: why am I here on earth? Why am I here on earth? What is my purpose for being on earth? And that question will only be answered once the pineal gland is open. No one else can tell you that. No religion can tell you what your purpose is here on earth, because majority of them don't even know why you came here on earth, right? But once your pineal gland is opened, you will come in contact with your true identity. You'll not just come in contact with your true identity, you come in contact with who you truly are and why you are here on earth and where you come from. And once you do that, your life is then supposed to start, will then start to resemble the divinity that's within. As within, so without. Right? I always teach you, as above, so below, as within, so without. And if you had a spiritual awakening, you see visions, you have prophetic dreams. Some of you are even healers full time, and you are helping people, but you are still struggling financially. You are still struggling to live the life that you see in your dreams. In your dreams, you're driving expensive cars, living in expensive mansions, and living that life. If that's the case, and you're wondering why I can help people get jobs, but I'm struggling, is because your pineal gland is still not clarified. It's still not fixed. You need to go back there and fix the pineal gland. Right? So if you are still struggling, then you have not fully awakened. Right? And you have not cleansed your pineal gland. And this is where you start. If you are struggling financially as a healer, and you can't seem to hold money, or you are the type of person who's been on a spiritual path, been doing every single thing on the path, and you can't seem to manifest money properly, then you start at the pineal gland. You start with cleansing your pineal gland, because you need it to hold money. You need it to become rich. You need it to become a true God. Now, the other video, can I write it? Yes. The other video that I said you need to, is that you need to, other video I said that is melanin, the true one melanin, right? Now, the pineal gland and melanin go hand in hand together. You cannot separate it. Now, I told you, melanin, the neuromelanin, is the first key. Right? Now, I told you this, that the war on melanin has nothing to do with pigmentation, but it's a DNA thing. Right? There's many things that many of you don't understand about melanin, and hence that's why I always tell you that if they're making you focus on one area, which is skin pigmentation, they are focused on something else. And you need to always ask yourself, what else are they focused on? That they are making us focus on skin pigmentation, because I tell you this all the time. Apples have melanin, and yet they have different shades, and they have the same count of melanin. There's light apple, there's dark apple, and the darker the shade of an apple doesn't make it have more melanin. They all have the same melanin with different shades. So shades in humanity have nothing to do with melanin, right? Now, I want to talk about neuromelanin. We have been taught that everything in your body is governed by the brain, right? That every action and reactions are all brain functions. Now, remember that I told you that melanin is not a skin pigmentation, but it's a DNA thing. The war was never on skin pigmentation, but it was on your DNA. Skin pigmentation doesn't mean you have a higher count of melanin, because plants, as I said, apples have melanin. The air you are breathing right now watching this video has melanin. Water has melanin, and yet the air doesn't have a color. There's no pigmentation to air, and yet air has a high count of melanin. So then, where is that pigmentation that they are making us think it's all about? It is not about color, right? Water also, it is not about color. What makes the ocean blue or is the coral underneath it. It's not the water. Melanin is a DNA, right? Melanin is a DNA, and this DNA is not found in all humans on earth, and only a specific race of human, only a specific human, not race, it's not racial, only a specific humans have it, and they have it because they have the DNA. They have it because the DNA is created due to their soul origin, not from being on earth. It comes because their soul does not originate from earth. I told you that there are different souls. There's the earth-based souls, there's the interplanetarian souls, the intergalaxy souls, and there's the heavenly souls. Right? I told you about this before. You can even watch the previous video on your royal heavenly bloodline. So now, the soul that creates melanin is created based on a soul that's not from earth. And that's where the DNA is created from, right? One thing that many of you need to understand is melanin is an independent DNA that cannot be controlled. No one can control it. It is capable of instant reaction to the energetic field. It can react to the energetic field on its own without being processed to any brain function, right? So let me read that again. It is capable of instant reaction to the energetic field without being processed by any of the brain functions or the brain steps. So it does not need your brain to function or to be active. It is an independent entity. It independently takes energy from the energetic field, processes it on its own, and then inform the nearby cells what they need to do. So melanin also acts, that DNA acts as a brain function in your body as well. It can act independently to anything in the body. It will function on its own even without the body. And it functions in a way that it can never be controlled by the body. So the melanin has a brain of its own. Those DNAs, right? That DNA. It can even create bodily functions and movements that are instantaneously and unique, that those without melanin will need to take years to train to have those bodily functions. And that's why we have melanin-based people. We always have them as people who are good in sports. They always create these moves. We have these people who can come up with singing notes that no one else can hit. We have legends that can write certain music, and they all have always seem to be of a particular race, right? And anyone else from other races with less melanin have to train for years to master those moves, and yet certain people are just born with knowing how to do those moves. That's melanin. Melanin acts like you have eyes all over your body. You can see, hear, feel, see, act, move, and do things that the normal human have to train lifetimes to even get to the point where they're able to do it. And many of them can never even master it the way you master it. Hence why the cherubims from the heavenly realms are always depicted with many eyes. Because they have the melanin DNA. It's a heavenly DNA. Right. So melanin doesn't wait for your brain to process things in order for your body to move. But melanin can send waves into your body and allow the body to move even before the brain even gets into speed with what is happening. And it processes information faster than the brain. That's melanin. So it has never been about skin color, but it has always been about melanin DNA. This is what they have been studying in labs and trying to figure out for years, and they've been trying to duplicate it so that they can create something that functions like it. But they are failing. That's what they've been failing. Hence the vaccines, hence all these things, but melanin functions on its own. And I told you that people that got the COVID vaccine who have melanin have not been affected by it. It did not affect them because melanin is an independent thing, and it cannot be genetically manipulated. Right? So now, the thing that they figured out, in order for the melanin to not work properly, in order for the DNA to be dormant, that's why they call it dormant DNA, to become junk, they need, in order for the DNA to keep sleeping, and many people, it's not working, it's not functioning as it's supposed to. This is what they've been studying. They studied it and realized that the best way to keep it sleeping, it is to make sure that your pineal gland are not functioning properly. It's to make sure that the pineal gland is not functioning properly and your nervous systems are always anxious and heightened. With your DNA melanin, you can open up, when it functions properly, you can open up powerful body functions and live in an avatar state on Earth. But it is the food and certain things in the water that slows down your melanin DNA. And that is why many of you are told by your ancestors to stop eating certain food, or to eat certain food, and to take certain herbs. Your melanin DNA, it is what we call a God DNA. Your pineal gland, it is the key that unlocks the God DNA. Right. What is the pineal gland? What is the pineal gland? In the center of your brain, there is a shimmering gland that is very small, like the grain of a rice, as small as a grain of a rice. And it is called the pineal gland. It is small as a grain of rice, but it holds galaxies within it. It holds ancient keys and codes from your home dimension or your home galaxies. It holds codes and keys that fuel your melanin to act as a powerful entity. Right? Melanin is the God DNA. The pineal gland, it is the seat of the soul, which then means it's the key to unlock your God DNA. Right. Let's go a little bit deep into the pineal gland. This is a small organ in your body, in your brain, that is not like any other organ in your body. It contains photoreceptors, which look like eyes. Hence, that's why I said, what? I said I was talking about the eyes, right? That melanin looks like it has many eyes. Same as the pineal gland. It has some things in it, the photoreceptors that look like many eyes. And it is wrapped in crystalline structures that look like the calcite crystal. And this is why many of you, your ancestors, keep telling you to work with crystals in your spiritual practice. Because as you illuminate those crystals and as they light around you, whether it be a salt lamp or a crystal lamp, then you start to activate certain parts in your body. So it is important. Yeah. Right? So these crystals in the pineal gland, they have piezoelectricity. It's Piezo electricity. Electricity. which means that they respond to pressure, vibrational energy, and frequency from the Earth and the galaxies, right? All this information is out there on the internet. You can go do your further research. Well, some of them. Right? So it also works with electricity. It functions in ways that it can respond to pressure, it can respond to vibrational energies, it can respond to frequencies from the Earth itself and the galaxies and from other planets. It also has hair that act as an antenna. That pineal gland, as small as a grain of rice, has things on it that look like hair. Not only does it have crystals, not only does it have electricity, and I think this is one of the reasons why when you become highly spiritual, you get electric shock. Because you have electricity flowing in your body. Once it has electricity flowing in your body, once it starts to also activate the melanin gene. And you become an electric current, and when you contact certain things, you create electricity. But it also has hair like antennas that allow it to receive signals from the home planet you come from. And those hair-like antennas are also used by your soul ancestors to get clear connection with you and to send you divine cosmic messages on how to get back home. It is also the gland used by the divine source mother and the divine source father to access you and give you instructions. So this is how important this gland is, because it is what connects you to the source. It was revered by the ancient mystic schools as one of the most important bodily organs in your body. Hence, that's why they called it the seat of the soul. They tell you that your soul sits here, but your soul sits here. Right? In Egypt, they carved it into the eye of Horus. That eye that everyone always says is the Illuminati eye, that's the eye of the melanin. In Buddhism, Buddha said it was the eye that allowed him, the melanin, it was the eye, the pineal gland that allowed him to have his awakening, the Black Buddha. Right. In India, they call it the Ajna chakra, which is called the third eye. That's the most common word for it. Buddha said his awakening happened because his third eye opened. That's why I always tell in some of the videos I made, I'm like, some of you says your third eye are open, but your third eyes are not open. Though maybe they're open to a certain extent, but they're not fully open, because once it opens fully, it needs to connect with the melanin DNA. And together they form the Kundalini awakening, and together you experience cosmic information that you've never experienced in your life. Your life even changes. This is why there was a trend in spirituality where many people were spiritual, but they did not want to focus on wealth or money, or they didn't want to focus on prosperity and becoming rich, because they just could not connect the two DNAs. Or some just did not have the melanin DNA, and because of that they could not unlock certain things once they unlock their spirituality. And many of them say they went through a Kundalini awakening, and yet after their Kundalini awakening they do not have a desire for wealth. So meaning that they don't want to become gods. Yeah. In the Vatican, today in the Vatican, they still use the pineal gland, and they've put it there as a statue. In plain sight, the statue is called the Cartilla della Pigna. The Cartilla, C-A-R-T-I-L-E space della D-E-L-L-A space P-I-G-N-A. I'm sure I should put the names on the video, right? And it is hidden in plain sight, and they just use it, they put it there because they still believe in the pineal gland. But yet the Vatican, yet the religion will never tell you to wake up. They will never even teach you how to waken up your third eye. And you will find this eye in sacred eyes of the holy sages who have an eye on their forehead. It is all over. And we call it the third eye, and some of you call it the Illuminati eye, and it's even in the dollar bill. That's how important this eye is. It is the symbol of the divine antennas that are in your body. Okay. Now, the news. That's why I've not watched the news for 5 years. Ever since COVID, I stopped watching the news. The news, the media, the TV, the food, the water, certain lifestyles have been sold to you as a way to shut your pineal gland and disconnect you. They even work overtime to create strategies that they can use to close you off from your source connection, using fluoride in your water, fluoride in your toothpaste, toxins in your food, blue light on your phone, on your TVs or on your smartphones, media hypnosis, religious traumas and religious teachings, shame and anxiety medications. And they even tell you to have overly sexual conducts and overbreeding. Those things desensitizes your pineal gland. Right? All these things have been used to clarify your pineal gland. Once your pineal gland is clarified, then the signal from your homes are cut out and you lose your direct connection. And so for you to be able to gain direct connection from your home, you need to start declarifying your pineal gland. Connecting with your divine home and source God mother, source mother God, source mother father. It is the first step that turns you into a god. A fully active and functioning pineal gland means that you are not easily to program. But when it's not function and active and it is in slumber and sleeping and clarified, it means that you are easily manipulated and you can be easily controlled. But when it's functioning properly, you can't easily be controlled and you are not programmable. And when you're not programmable, then those dormant DNAs, they start to wake up and your melanin starts to function properly. So the pineal gland wakes up the melanin DNA. And once those DNAs wake up, you then start to see the illusion of the matrix. You start to get proper downloads. You are not always on the internet asking people what you need to do. You start to get proper downloads. You start to get information from your home directly. You meet your source mother and source father. You start to see your heavenly lineage and understand the kind of being you are. You will get insight on your origin and why you are here on earth. You then start to get keys on how to get back home. You then start to pass earth. Once you get all those things, you pass earth. Once you pass earth, then you get keys on how to build your wealth as your final exam. Because your final exam to godhood is the ultimate wealth and divine union. A new world. Once you open and clear your pineal gland, a new world will open up to you and you will begin to see your true spiritual awakening. You'll begin to go through your own true spiritual awakening. And the first step to clear your pineal gland, the number one thing you need to do for yourself is go celibate. Celibacy. Because over sexualism, it is what desensitizes you. And that's why they went from us not being sexually pure and preserving our sexuality to teaching us that having multiple sexual partner is empowering. That you need to have sex every single day. That you, in order to please a man or a woman, you need to have constantly be having sex. But I told you in the celibacy videos that that's not the truth. So the number one thing, if you don't know the videos, please go into my page and look for the videos. You'll find them. Don't inbox me and ask me to send you the links because I won't do that. This, I know all those information. This is you. You need to take your learning seriously and go in and find the messages that you need. So the number one thing you need to do in order to purify your pineal gland and awaken your God DNA, which is your melanin DNA, it is to go celibate. How long will you go celibacy for? That you need to discuss with your ancestors and they will guide you on that process. Deepen your connection with your ancestors. I've been doing so many videos on prayers, so many videos on cleansings, so many videos on all those things, and yet people are still lost. And you are lost because you are relying on a source outside of yourself to give you information. And when I tell people use your intuition, they get offended. when they're not supposed to get offended, because that's what they're supposed to be doing, using their own intuition to actually get guidance from their own ancestors. Deepen your connection with your ancestors through daily prayer. I've already made videos about this. Breath work, breathing in and out properly. There's many YouTube videos that will teach you how to breathe. Using body movements to move energies, body movements like yoga, tai chi, or dance. This is why people, when they go to initiation school, they have to dance, they have to gita, dancing the way Africans dance. In all indigenous cultures, there's a form of dancing. The Hindus, the Chinese, the Aborigine, all the people who are indigenous have a dancing system, and they're good at it because they understand it's a way of moving energy. Not everyone gitas in order to move energy. Not everyone dances like the sangomas in order to move energies. Some, you move energies through yoga. My energy moves so well through tai chi. I don't connect with all the other stuff. For me, it's tai chi. I do tai chi on a daily. And you need, even if you're self-initiate, you need to get into the habit of moving energy, whether through dancing or whatever, but you need not high impact exercises. Don't go to the gym and start boxing. That doesn't move energy. It is bodily movement of dance, of structured movements of the ancient yogas and the chis and the tai chis. Number 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5, you need to start fasting from certain foods. Right? I did say that water people, fasting doesn't work for me, but you also still need to fast from certain foods. You're not going to eat all the junk in the world just because you're a water person. You need to start fasting from certain foods. Not only fast from food, certain foods, but fast from certain medias. And then fast from the news all completely. I have not watched the news in 5 years and I've not missed a single thing. I don't know what the news are saying, and today I'm here. And even before the 5 years, I think I had stopped watching the news like in 2015, but due to COVID I started watching it, and I realized I'm going down a hole that I don't want to be in. I stopped watching it. So I could say for 10 years I've consistently not watched the news, and I've not missed a single thing. I've not missed a single thing. Some things that need to happen, I see them before they happen and I adjust myself accordingly. I get my news from the cosmic. And that's the most reliable news ever. Not the fake news that they're spreading out. So fast from the news. Cut news out of your home. Number 6, raising your vibration by removing negativity out of your life. Negative self-talk, fear. They use fear. Hence, that's why you need to stop consuming content that make you fearful. By removing yourselves out of toxic relationships, whether they be partnerships, romantic partnership, family relationships, or friend relationships, but they can all have toxicity in them. You remove yourself. By also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 7, I didn't put numbers on it. Number 7, by creating a space in your home that has high vibration, by making sure wherever you are, you create a temple. Even if you live in the most toxic house. I once lived in the most toxic house, but my bedroom was my sanctuary. I even didn't move out of that bedroom, because every time I stepped out of that bedroom, it felt like I was stepping into a war zone. When I was in there, I was in peace because I'd created a temple. I just know how to create a temple where I go. And I made a video before this one. The previous video is the one that I talk about how you create temples out of your home, your space, your room. So make sure that a space you are living in or your home is high vibrational. Use sound to heal and to connect you with the divine energies. Stillness is important. Not trying to keep up with the Jones, not trying to keep up with your friends, not putting yourself under pressure to have the latest cars, the latest things, the latest what. It is important in moving at your own pace and flow, and understanding that it doesn't mean just because someone drives a Ferrari now that you won't drive it in 2 years' time. Understanding that your path is greater than the materialistic things of this earth. And you must still go after the materialistic things, but go at them at your own pace and as directed. Some of you put yourself under pressure and put your ancestors under pressure because you are competing with everyone on social media. Stillness, not trying to keep up with all the things that they are selling you. I mean, like, I had to go buy a new phone now. But in reality, me, if it ain't broken, I ain't fixing it. If it ain't broken, we're not getting a new one. Going into the sun regularly. I've already made a video about why it is important. You need to be in the sun. You need to be in the sun. And then lastly, grounding on the earth, whether walking barefoot on the ground, on the soil, walking barefoot in the grass as well. Especially many of you who live in places where everywhere you are, it's just high building. You get in your car, you go to a high building. You're wearing shoes that are plastic underneath, which remove the connection, which prevent you from connecting better with the earth. Then you are sitting in an office that doesn't have natural light. And then you leave there, it's night, it's dark, you're in your car, you go back home. When you get home, it is an apartment building. And hence you never ground. So creating space where you ground with your bare feet, because the shoes, the rubber shoes that they create these days do not allow you to ground, because the material is plastic and it blocks vibration. And hence that's why it's important allowing your kids to play barefoot outside. Let them get dirty outside. Grounding is important. And as you do these things, then the veil will start to lift and you will start to connect in a way you've never connected before with the divine beings. You will start to know who you are truly. And once you do that, you will start to see the wealth codes that you've been looking for. And then you will start to build your true wealth. I told you that you cannot become a god without experiencing true wealth. And also getting into a divine union with one who is a god on earth also. There is nothing toxic in divine union partnerships. There's no toxicity there, because that union is a union between two light beings who have fully developed and connected with the source mother and source father. So there is no way that divine unions are toxic. If you are still in a toxic relationship, then you're not in a divine union, and you need to then go ask your ancestors what you need to do. Remember, you are here to become a god. You are in training to become a god. The whole purpose why you are here on earth is godhood and nothing else. So remember that and never forget that. Don't let the world take you. Never forget you are here to become a god. Unless if you don't want to be a god. And if you don't want to be a god, that means you want to come back here in this Armageddon, in this matrix. And then it means that you enjoy this matrix. And to those who enjoy this matrix and are having fun in the matrix, we can never blame them, because their souls were created to function in this matrix. But many of you know that you do not belong to this earth, and you know that you are not functioning properly in this earth, and you don't know why, and you don't know how to function on this earth, and it is because you don't belong here. But you don't belong here because you are here to learn to become a god. And once you learn to become a god, you leave. But here it's school. You're in the best schools where gods are developed in a matrix system, and if they can exit it, then they get home and they become powerful gods, right? That's why you're here. You're here to become a god. And every single thing I've been teaching you from the first video I made, if you are new here, go watch the first video I made and come up with them. Take your time. You can take time. You can take an hour or two and watch toxic dramas and TV shows, but then you will be here telling me my messages are long. I must get to the point. I must make short videos, but yet you can sit in a conversation with friends that is toxic for 3 hours and not gain anything and lower your vibration. But you are here telling others on the internet who are trying to help you get to the point. Right? All right, let me go. I have to start a consultation. I'm way behind today on schedule.